I come across this development here which is on sale. I got a few partners, a few like-minded partners, and we bought this project and say, come on, we'll go back and try to revive Ipoh, because Ipoh was a tin mining town. And in the 80s, when tin mine price dropped, the entire town economy was destroyed. All the young people left the city, so the inner city of Ipoh was left vacant. The project that we were involved in is this whole city block here. So it involves it involves a 3-story building here. It involves a little furniture warehouse. It involves 6 shop houses, and it involves a 5-story old bank building. So this was probably about 2010 when we moved in, and we said that we're committed to try to preserve this city block, because the developers that we bought this city block from has already submitted a development order to the council to demolish this entire block, and they have permission to build a 10-story building or 12-story building. Me and my partner say, let's not do that. We will just try to make it work with the existing building. The first thing we did was to plant the trees. The second thing that we did was we tried to preserve the existing tenants that is using the city block. So the hawkers are still there. Well, obviously we have to bring in the younger crowd. So it's a good mix so that we can mix the different people who are using the old block of the city. Unfortunately, I have to take one of the shop block from this old barber. This barber is the guy who cut my hair last time, 40 years ago. But his business has actually dwindled. So he used to have 7 barbers, now he's only left alone. So we built him a special barber shop inside our courtyard. We did this glass enclosure for him to cut hair. The old coffee shop remains. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry. Everybody good at this thing. Can we bring it back to the Prince? You're gonna help me out with this. So I have a lot of slides to show you. That's why I'm just pacing it through. I got 200 slides in my long set of presentation today.
We can be here until 7.
Manually, is it? Okay, somewhere here. Yeah. So the city block has got we planted a lot of trees. We brought in a lot of young people to trade their business there. We built a swimming pool. The shops are underneath the swimming pool. The riverside lanes are all activated with the hawkers and whatever. And on top of the bank building, we have a flat roof, so we built an urban farm up there. So another of the things that I want to talk about making is when I think this is the philosophy that applies to actually most of my projects, especially the smaller projects, that we try not to finish a project, and we allow time to finish it for us. I say that partly because I'm a landscape architect too. Plants need time to grow, and I cannot see the effect immediately. It will take 5 years, 10 years before I really see the final effect. But it's also not only plants. I think it also applies to the buildings and to the hardscape and things like that. And when we do not finish things right, especially when we are working in older buildings, the history, I think, is very important, that we need to show history. I do not believe in renovation work where we try to repair everything to as though it was built 40 years, 50 years ago, in perfect condition. So in a lot of our projects, we leave things as it is. we allow mistake to creep into our projects. I show this slide is to show this particular mistake here. This particular mistake here. If you're an architect, I think you'll be very disturbed with this detail here, where the beams actually overshoot the other beam. But things like that, with a philosophy of actually accepting mistake is no longer a problem. In some of my projects, I've seen my architect friends getting their contractor to demolish this little bit of things here. But here, instead of demolishing, we just highlight it. When we paint it differently, turn it into a cross, and just living with it. Obviously, a lot of my projects, I have very little budget. We have no money to finish facades and stuff like that. So we will keep it open. This is a room actually. The only thing that separates the room from the outside is this mesh here. But we allow plants to grow on top of it. And in 6 months, the plants already did its job of actually providing the privacy for the particular bedroom. So plants is, I think this project actually highlight more of the idea of using plant as an architectural element. I think as architects, we always think about glass, steel, timber, whatever, to finish the facade of a building. But we always think of plants as just a landscape. But I think I'd like to encourage you to think about, especially in tropical countries where plants grow so fast, to use it as a finishing material. Why plants? Because plants are also very cheap. This was the building this is my office in Bangsa. So it is a single-story house, which I took off half the roof, and then I built this box up there. This is the wall that prevents the morning sun from entering the glass enclosure, which is the office up there. And then the roof tiles that I took down from the roof became this wall here. So this was on day one. This is 1 year later. So we creep a lot of plants up onto the building, and the building has kind of like a double skin, because in this part of the world our building heats up. So the actual building is here, and this acts as like a double skin to the building. The plants are encouraged to go up to the roof, but also on the walls. And some of the plants where there's no wall, we just hung the plants from a wire mesh on the side of the building. So the glass building doesn't receive too much of a heat gain. The ground floor is kept open. I just mesh everything open. I didn't see the ground floor as a building. I see the ground floor as a garden. This is my office. This is my meeting room, number 1. This is my meeting room, number 2. All non-aircon, totally uncomfortable. It's intentional because I don't want long meetings. And I give my client very uncomfortable seat to sit on, so that the meeting never lasts more than half an hour. And as I said, the ground floor is almost treated like a garden, but we encourage nature, and the wind, and the rain, and the water, everything will come in. It's my garage. Occasionally, we will put some books out. The very important thing that actually we did was every time we try to do something in a private area, we try to give back a bit to the community or to the neighborhood. So we pull all the security enclosure. We remove the gate of the house and pull the wall in. We build a bench so then the alarm for all guys can sit. The old people that walk past our office and sit down, they can read a book. Initially, we thought that the reading is important, but what actually is, we found later more important is that we open our Wi-Fi. We have very fast Wi-Fi, and the Filipino maid and the Indonesian maid or the workers, right, they need to communicate with their families on show videos, right? They use our free Wi-Fi to communicate. So they all sit on this little bench here to go about their business. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. The Filipino maid using our Wi-Fi to speak to her children or her family at home. This is inside the office at the lower ground level. I said it was a garden, but it's also a community space. We have opened this space for the last 20 years. It's still being used today for readings and things like that. Let's see, we always come to these rooms. We opened it for artists at that time because there was not enough art space. We opened it to human rights group, NGOs to use, installations. Making less is more. I think this is a very popular saying. A lot of my inspiration when I do my work comes from travel. I travel into a lot of places. Not only because when we travel, we usually go and see the churches, the cathedrals, the big things, the palaces. And that's why a lot of us end up with aesthetics to want to build those icing cake houses, because our inspiration comes from the Vatican City, the big museums and the Louvre and things like that. But when I travel, I try to make it a point to go to places like this. The most downtrodden part of town, and see how humanity works, how dignity with very little resources can happen. So I get a lot of inspiration from just going into houses and seeing, wow, they're using cardboard boxes as wallpaper. They use discarded fabrics to make all kinds of things. They use a broken bicycle as almost a chandelier and stuff like that. Things like that inspired me tremendously. And in the last maybe 30 years when I'm practicing, I was trying to articulate this idea of that Malaysian landscape or that Asian landscape of aesthetics.